Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Today's video is going to be a roundup of all of my favorite matte tinted lip balms. These are one of my favorite lip categories, so I thought it would be fun to talk about my favorites. So I hope you enjoy. If you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe if you have not already, and let's get into it. If the lighting changes a bit, I apologize. The sun is setting right now and I don't want to use artificial light, so hopefully it's not too bothersome. Apologizing ahead of time. The first product I want to talk about is the Nars Soft Matte Tinted Lip Balm, and this is such a beautiful product. I love the shades that they have in this range. It's very limited. I think there's maybe like 5 or 6 shades, which isn't a lot, but I really do like almost every single shade. I think there's only one that I don't like because it's too light for my skin tone, but maybe if I paired it with a lip liner I would really like it. But I do love the shade range of this product, although I do think that they could expand, and I would love for them to expand the shade range of these because they're just such incredible matte tinted lip balms. So this one I think is like a proper matte tinted lip balm because it does have a bit of a sheen, as you can see, and it's really comfortable on the lips. It's quite slippy and the pigmentation isn't too intense, so you can swipe it across your lips pretty like haphazardly and not have to worry about it looking wild or like you were in a moving car and tried to put like a very pigmented lipstick on or something like that. So it's just a very effortless product. You can throw it in your purse and put it on without any type of mirror. That's a big thing that I love about this. It's just so effortless. I do find this to be pretty moisturizing as well. It's not as moisturizing as like an actual lip balm, but it is very comfortable and it doesn't feel drying. I would say the finish on this is more of a natural finish rather than like matte, but I can see why this would be called matte because it's not as like creamy as a lipstick, but it's not as glossy as a lip gloss, and it's more of a lip balm finish, and I just think it's so gorgeous. I love these so much. I also really like the packaging. It's very sleek. It's just a regular bullet packaging, and the pigment on this is very even and very smooth, so when you run it across your lips, it doesn't really drag on anything. It doesn't make your lips look extra dry. It doesn't emphasize dryness, and it just makes your lips look really pretty with a little tint and a tiny little sheen. I have 3 shades of this, and my favorite shade is Brief Encounter. I've talked about it many times on my channel and just in general, like on my Instagram and things like that. So that's my absolute favorite shade. It's the shade that I'm wearing right now. And then I also love the shade Whiplash and Touch Me. I own the shade Unrestricted. I'll obviously be showing you swatches of all of them, but Unrestricted is a little bit too light on my skin tone. Brief Encounter is like perfection. Whiplash is a little bit more red on me, and then Touch Me is a really pretty like deeper berry red on me too. And I just love the shades. I love the texture. It's such an incredible matte tinted lip balm. The next product I want to talk about is the Glossier Generation G, and this is actually named their sheer matte lipstick, but I find it more to be like a tinted matte lip balm. It's a lot more similar to something like the Nars Soft Matte Tinted Lip Balm, so I would categorize this as a soft matte lip balm. And this is the product that probably started my love for this type of product and kind of introduced me to it, because before I just thought lipstick was like so aggressive and intense, and because I have bigger, like more wrinkly textured lips, matte lipstick never looked good on me. It just kind of clung to all the texture on my lips and made them look super dehydrated, but I really wished I could wear them because I loved all the shades that they had. I loved that it was a little bit more pigmented on the lips than something like a gloss or a lip balm, and I liked that it was matte. So when I found this and I tried this for the first time, I'm like, I had no idea product could be matte and look this nice on your lips, especially as someone with really like textured wrinkly lips. This truly does blur the lips a little bit. It doesn't emphasize any of the dry patches or any of the dryness that I have on my lips, and it just glides over. It feels so like powdery and nice on the lips. This one I would say is not very moisturizing. It's not as moisturizing as the Nars one. It is a little bit more matte, if you can see, than the Nars one as well. So I would say that this is like just as sheer as the Nars one. So you really do have to build the color up with this one, but it's not as like sheeny. This one is like proper matte on the lips. It doesn't feel drying. It doesn't feel uncomfortable. I actually love the way it feels. This does not emphasize the dryness on my lips at all. It doesn't cling to dry patches. It doesn't make the wrinkles in my lips look more wrinkly or just like emphasize all the texture. I just think this smooths over the lip and really does look blurred and matte and pretty. I just fell in love with this the first time I tried it. I'm so grateful for this product because I've always wanted to wear a lipstick and like have it in my purse and use it regularly, but I never liked the look of it. So this really like filled that gap for me in makeup when I first started playing with makeup and using makeup more. This also has so many shades, and that's what I really appreciate about the Glossier Gen Gs is they have so many options. So I think everyone can find something that they'll like that will be suited for them. You can have something that is more of a My Lips But Better type shade, or something punchier like a red or like a deep berry or like a cranberry type vibe. They have so many options of shades of this, which is a huge pro, I think, for the Glossier Gen G. And this one will always have a special place in my heart because it was the first product like this that I tried that I fell in love with. I'm wearing the shade Fuzz right now and I think it's so pretty. I also love the shades Leo, Malts, Cake, and Jam. I honestly like almost all of them because the shades are just so pretty and you can really just blot them on your lips. I would say that my favorite three are Fuzz, Leo, and Malt, which they're all kind of like different versions of a brown, and I love a brown lip. So it just makes sense that those are my favorite. These are quite sheer and you can build up the pigment. It's really easy, again, like the Nars one, to throw in your purse and just apply whenever you want without a mirror. And I just love how like sheer and pretty and again effortless this one is too. Next up we have the Kaja Love Blur Lip Balm, and this is super similar to the Glossier Gen G. So if you've tried that and you really like it, I think you would also really love the Kaja ones. I would say that they're like not dupes of each other because they have different shades and things, but like they're basically the same product in my eyes. I also love the shades that Kaja has. They do have fewer shades than the Glossier lineup, but they do have some really pretty shades that I like wearing. They could expand it for sure and have deeper shades, but the ones that they do have, I do like. I also think that the packaging of the Kaja ones are super cutesy, and I don't know, Kaja always just makes really fun, cute products. I will say that this one feels a little bit more slippy and like silicone-y on the lips than the Gen G one and the Nars one. This one kind of feels like silicone-y and powdery on the lips, but it is very similar to the texture of the Gen G. I'm wearing the shade Affection right now and I think it's so pretty. It's very similar to the other ones that I was wearing and talking about too. The Kaja Love Blur is very similar to the Gen G in that it does not emphasize dryness on your lips. It feels super comfortable. It's very similar in sheerness as well, so it's like a very sheer product, but you can build it up. Just is so pretty, looks so natural. Again, very effortless. I think that's like the biggest thing that I like about all of these is they're very effortless and you just don't have to think about it and you can just throw it on your lips without a mirror again. And yeah, so I love this one. This is the shade Affection. Next up we have the Sunny's Face Fluffbalm Blotted Lipstick, and this one is quite similar to the Glossier Gen G and the Kaja Love Blur, but this is just a tad more slippy on the lips compared to the Gen G and just a tad more moisturizing as well. It also isn't as matte as the Gen G. I feel like this has more of like a lip balm sheen on the lips. It's not as sheeny as the Nars one, but it is more sheeny than the Gen G and the Kaja one. So I feel like this one lies in between the Kaja and Gen G one and the Nars one. And this one just looks very natural on the lips. This kind of just looks like your lips but better. I do think that this is more similar to the Nars one than the Gen G one because of that little sheen and the fact that this is a little bit more moisturizing, but really I feel like they're all very similar. I love the shades that Sunny's Face comes out with because I feel like they're very complimentary to people with my skin tone. I love their packaging and I love their marketing. There's so many things that I love about Sunny's Face, and and I'm so glad that they came out with a product like this because I knew I needed it and immediately purchased it when I learned about it. This is a bit more pigmented than the other ones too, so you do kind of have to be a little bit more careful when applying this one, and I feel like with this one you kind of do need a mirror because you can get this pigmentation with like 2 swipes, whereas the Genji, the Nars, and the Kaja you would need like 3 or 4 or 5 swipes to get this pigmentation. So I do find that I need a mirror when I apply this one, but it's still sheer and it's still pretty effortless. And this is definitely like a lipstick I would throw in my purse and apply throughout the day as well because it is so effortless. The shade that I have on right now is the shade Perfect Mauve. I also own the shade Perfect Nude, and they really are so pretty. Now we're moving into something a little bit more pigmented. This is the Freck Makeout Club Soft Blur Lipstick, and I think this one is so similar to the Genji and the Kaja and the Sunny's Face, but it's just more pigmented. Like, I feel like that's why it leans more towards a lipstick than a lip balm, because you do get a lot of pigment upon one swipe and you don't really need to build it up. I think that's also why the applicator is a bit smaller, so you can be more precise with it, but it is still very like matte lip balm vibes, and it just looks so pretty on the lips. It feels very similar to the Genji and the Kaja one, so it is blurring on the lips. It doesn't emphasize dryness, and it feels really comfortable and not as heavy as like a proper lipstick. I also really like the shades that Freck has, and I'd love to try more from them because I have 3 right now, but I know that they expanded the shade range of these and it would be so cool to try the other ones, but I'm holding back because I have too many products. But these are very pretty and I love the look of them. The shade that I'm wearing right now is the shade Shy Hottie. Now on to the honorable mention. This is the Wet n Wild Soft Blur Matte Lipstick, and this is an honorable mention for 2 reasons. One, because I just started using this like a few days ago because I remembered that it was in my collection and I was like, oh, this might be super similar to the other ones that I really love. And it is, but it's just not very moisturizing. So that's the second reason, is that it's not a favorite, but I did want to mention it because it is a great drugstore option for something that is like the Genji or the Nars Soft Matte Lip Balm. And it is this very beautiful, like soft blur, not pigmented type of lip product. It just kind of sits on the lips a little bit more, and it really can cling on to dry spots and dry patches on your lips. And it's just not as blurring as the other products. So 1, I just tried these, and 2, the formula is just not as good and not a favorite. But I do appreciate the option of this. And this is only like $5, so I had to mention it. I do think that it does give a very pretty like soft matte blur to the lips. And the shade I'm wearing right now is the shade I'm Shy. I do find that these are quite sheer and they are very comparable to like a Glossier Genji, but just with a formula that's not as good. If you're interested in knowing what my #1 favorite matte tinted lip balm is, I did write a Substack about the product, so I'll link that down below and it'll give you all the information about my #1 favorite of all of these and the one that I would recommend to buy if you could only pick one. So check that out in the description down below. And I'm just really excited to get into Substack and just start writing about makeup and like all the fun things. So yeah, check me out on Substack now. Those were all of my favorite soft matte tinted lip balms. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions. I would love to hear what your favorite of this lineup is and if you have any recommendations for one similar. I know I want to try the Violette FR like matte, I think it's the Bijou Balm or something like that. I'm just having a hard time picking a shade, but I feel like if I owned that, it would be in this lineup and I would adore it because I did try my sister's once and I really, really liked it. So if you're a similar skin tone to me and you own one of those and you love the shade, I would love to hear what it is, and that'll probably sway my decision in that direction and that shade, because right now I just don't know what shade I would love. So let me know if you do own that. And I hope you're having a good day wherever you are, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!